I'm an internist who walks folks through weight loss and healing metabolic problems. Alone is a beautiful example of the harsh environment the human body evolved in to survive. They take folks and they drop them in the middle of nowhere. They're their own cameraman, but like the title says, they're alone and they need to survive, which means they need to figure out what to eat. It's like a social experiment in weight loss. We don't live like this now. That's why we are so fat in America. I have many thoughts. The first of is weight loss is so unfair. Let's watch some clips to see exactly how. We'll start by focusing on two of my favorite contestants. First is Sam. He is my favorite.
I'm not very scared. I've been preparing myself mentally for this since I was like 14 years old.
Yeah! I feel like a mosquito in a nudist colony.
Yeah, honestly, I love that kid because he starts out pretty chubby, which is a survival point for this whole game. And he's kind of a knucklehead. I don't know. I guess I have kids his age.
Instantly, it's just the coolest, most fun feeling. Like, let's go get him.
Bam! Just found a rope.
And then in a few short minutes, it turns to, oh man, this is pretty wild.
Michael Jackson glove.
I was kind of running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
Bam! Salmon. I think this is good for me. This is a good opportunity for me to really kind of go into myself and find
skinnier.
Some kind of happiness out here while I'm alone, or see if that's possible. All night long, baby. I miss being around people on a daily basis. I miss my wife. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, gross.
I didn't know how hard it would be just not having enough food. I've never ever been so hungry in my life.
Whammo! Mousy feast.
It's so weird how I'm changing mentally out here. I think I'm getting wiser out here, but there's absolutely no way to describe how you feel out here.
I look terrible. Holy crap.
Your dimple is deep.
What the heck? Wow.
Just how crazy this whole thing has been and how difficult it is, and the fact that I'm just so isolated out here, and that I just want to speak to my wife, and I'm just getting the crap beat out of me out here.
So I have a couple of thoughts about that. Recently I've been helping a patient with depression, and in the world we live in, the space to see herself is absent. Like, she can't. And then you look at the way we evolved, where there was a lot of space, like what Sam has. This distance in time from others. And obviously this one's extreme, but it's a very real paradigm shift of, he says, mentally I'm not well, but he does it with a smile. His eyes look alive. When I look at that patient who's struggling with depression, she doesn't say it with that kind of voice. Her eyes are glossy, and you think, his brain has a bunch of ketones in it. Hers does not. His situation is very isolated and alone, and he has to be the champion of what his brain is doing right now. And to reflect on this and see, okay, Sam, you think you're depressed, but really the skills to live in an isolated world are something you're trying to figure out right now. So mania is a brain that's going far faster than it can control. In a patient with bipolar, when they're at their high, the brain is in an inappropriate, like going too fast for other reasons. Sam's brain is probably going too fast because he's on day 50. He is living off of the fat that came on his body. It's circulating to his brain. He is surviving because every brain cell is fueled with ketones. So it can look similarly. Manic is not controllable though. So it looks like he's controlling it. So I would guess it's not mania.
Okay, I'm gonna go to bed now.
I just want to hug him. I mean, you look at what he's doing there is, okay, what's the coping skill he's using to escape where he's at? Just go to sleep, buddy. Just go to sleep. Not a bad one. At least the list of options he has right now is pretty good. That's what I do too. I'd holler. Get the wolves to talk to you. At least you're not alone.
That was awesome. That was so cool.
He is primal.
The hell was that?
You're scaring your neighbor, Sam. So one thing I would just point out is every time I see his breath, you can appreciate it's a really cold place. You're gonna need calories, buddy. Hurry up, find the calories, get some insulation around you. That tent is so tiny as far as insulation. Like, oh, it's gonna be rough.
Getting tougher and tougher as the days go by. Really, really difficult at times. I want to hunt for some bull kelp. I want to find a newer one that's not all brown and gross.
So you just look at that water right there. There is got to be a fish in there, and that is way better for you than that damn kelp. First of all, a bunch of carbs that taste terrible and are going to give you diarrhea. In a state where you are definitely in advanced ketosis, do not be focusing on a plant. Get into the water. Figure out how to get that fish out of the water and in your mouth. Quit focusing on kelp.
I'm not usually a sentimental guy. Not really. I try to just be goofy as much as possible.
Good coping skill.
There's something about this place. For all of week 1, I just pushed it. I just pushed it aside as hard as I could. Like, I didn't think about home. I didn't think about my wife or my soon-to-be little boy. But there's something about it, being out here alone for so long. It's like, I can't stop thinking about them, because I knew the second I thought about those guys, it would just tear me up. And my days here were just numbered.
Same comparison where that cry doesn't bother me nearly as much as the distant look, the despondence of the 21st century depression patient I was talking about a minute ago, where they're just in a world of busy and lots of people, but they are not connected to any person.
I have kind of a story about last night. It's midnight, and I'm kind of half awake, and I hear this rustle, and I look over, and there's a mouse just like hanging out on my rain jacket. I've been out here for a long time. I am not above eating mice at the moment. There's a really good trap that I know that is really good for rodents and such.
What we're going to do, we're going to carve a Paiute deadfall trap. It's really highly effective, instant kill, very humane as well. Perfect, actually. Made just right. Might get us some food tonight.
The first thing I notice in this clip is he's super hungry. He definitely needs some fat and protein. You know, the other contestants throughout the years are all winners when they get big game. But the idea of a little one, not the dumbest idea he comes up with. But you can hear in his voice that that's not depression. He has a purpose now. He figured out a purpose, something to do. The idea of making a trap, setting them, having this mission and goal, boy, you can feel him. You can feel his depression when he talks. And there, you don't feel that. He has a purpose.
Looking around at the traps, I can just see that only one of them was triggered. It is the one that was triggered. And if we look at it ever so closely, that looks like a tail. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whammo!
All right.
Mousy feast coming right up.
Better than kelp.
And gutting mice is not a task for the faint of heart. It's kind of nice. The big fat one too. This guy's got a lot of meat on him. I like how they taste, but I hate the animals. Now comes the hard part. Gutting the beast. Because don't want to pierce any of those gross internal things. When it's all said and done, see that little guy? Hardly even looks like a mouse. Just a delicious piece of meat. In a few minutes, we'll be good to go. Cooking on the shelter can be really frustrating. Smoke gets all in your eyes and you're like, gross. And the mouse is done. Let's eat him.
Okay, so that is unbelievable. It's gross, but that's the only way you're going to sustain. His body is so undernourished right now. No wonder even when there's that high of ketones that have to be circulating around his body, that can't be, he's not going to sustain this. The classic rabbit diet, which has no fat, has protein I grew up on the prairies, and I didn't hear this until medical school about how dangerous the rabbit diet was because it was all protein. And my ancestors actually suffered from this, where they're on the prairie. The only thing that they're trapping is a bunch of rabbits. And they have this super high protein that has no fat. Well, I don't know if you can say that about Sam, because the bites of protein he's in starvation. I don't know, maybe 5 mice a day get him enough protein, but there's no fat on that animal. And as he puts it in the pan, my thought is, maybe he had fat from something else, but I don't think there was any fat in there. Organ failure happens because when the protein is replaced, but not the fat, the organ failure in kidneys, liver, they swell up. He's got a lot of fat on his body yet. So despite having no fat in his environment, he's still probably making pretty good ketones.
Hey, we got something. Maybe one little mouse, but hey, that's food. So he's a trophy to me.
Deadfall traps are getting more and more frustrating to set. I'm not getting myself a sustainable amount of food. I haven't been able to catch more than 1 mouse a day, and that is nothing real substantial. I always have the back of my head, I have this duty to my wife to protect her and to take care of her and to comfort her.
That mouse diet makes the sardine challenge look like a breeze. Like, I'm telling you folks, it's a framework. It's a mind shift. Think of Sam. And at least the sardines have fat in them.
I do like the taste of actual meat.
Being away from my wife, it really puts me in this weird place where I doubt my purpose, and that really just wears on me.
Either I'm just nuts, or the mouse doesn't taste that bad. Probably nuts.
And I mean, you look at it, he's a month into this? Whatever fat insulin resistance he had on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he is definitely churning in a place where, has he even stimulated the production of insulin one time in the last week? Probably not. This is not the problem my patients have. When they write in and say, I wonder if I'm getting too much protein. I think it's causing me to not lose weight. I'm like, you are not to that chapter yet. You got to fix insulin first. And that really gets fixed with chapters of nothing burger or chapters of really high fat before you get to this place where he is not getting enough nourishment.
It just keeps getting worse and worse. These winds are coming off the Pacific and just ripping at my shelter.
All right, at the end, you look at how the power of his mindset got him to the end here of day 45 or 46. It's the slightest of challenges that are going to crush that spirit. Distant wife, baby on the way, and then no food, no protein, and he taps out right before the other guy, I think. So he doesn't win. I felt so sad for him.
We're all getting dropped off in one of the most cold and unforgiving places on earth. It's happening! I'm alone! Oh my God. The sap is running out of this cup. And it's so sweet and delicious. Wow.
Look at how far you'll go for carbs. Yeah, she's about a week in and licking carbs off of the bark. Different season 6. I've watched a few of them by this point, and I really liked what happened with Woniya. If there was an example of how weight loss is so not fair, look at her at the beginning. And she comes with some great, prairie woman survival skills. She uses them. She gets a pretty good shelter. But watch her weight loss. What I appreciated about her story is, she could fatten up. She did that really well. Insulin resistance works well in a 42-year-old woman. Weight loss is not fair. It's just not fair. Look how difficult it is for her to lose weight. I know that's not the point of this, but as a physician who watches people struggle with weight loss, I was just taken aback by how well she preserved her weight until later in the story.
I'm pretty content with my A-frame shelter. And now it is time to make this shelter a little bit more weatherized and winterproof. It is not fooling around. It comes in fast and it will kick your butt. So we just want to have this thing be uber insulated because I feel like that's the best thing I can do to conserve calories.
The cold temperature drops the body temperature, and you burn more calories when you do that. There was a season my husband put on weight every time I got pregnant and then didn't lose it. So in his weight loss story, one of our strategies was drink no calories, a calorie-free drink, and then turn the temperature down at the house while we sleep. These people are doing that without instruction.
I thought it would be very amusing to get made up. I survived 94 days alone in the Arctic, and all I got was this stupid t-shirt. I think I'd rather have it say I survived. I think I'm more surviving. I think surviving would involve food.
Look at her face though. Like there is such chubbiness to her face that you are 2 weeks in. And I mean, I would love to check her ketones right now because I think she's eaten a little while now, but she runs into trouble a little bit later on. But just the look on her face, like by this point, Sam had slimmed up and he's a boy and he's a young boy. So his insulin resistance wasn't there. I just am shocked at how little weight loss she has in her face at 17 days into practically starving.
All food. Yeah, food as first priority.
Crowberries are definitely changing. The foliage is getting.
Okay, so she's got a little weight loss. You can see it in the creases, her nasolabial folds, but still not much.
More orangey, and I feel like the berries are going to be drying up, so I'm trying to fill my gullet now. Check it out. Not a bad handful of crowberries.
I'm really hoping for red meat and large game. I think that's the only real long-term sustainable strategy for being out here.
Oh my God, 2 shed moose. If I could get a moose, it would turn everything around.
The longer I watched the show, the more I would get ticked off saying, hey, mankind conquered the ability to catch fish. Quit trying to get these big game animals. And like she chases this moose and I just think, oh, you gotta be so hungry. And the moose would be amazing. You should eat the liver first. But I can't remember if this is her that got the porcupine where I said, oh my God, they have a bunch of fat in them. Grab the fat, you'll survive.
She flew off.
I was getting close to my home base and heard this flutter of wings, and up in this little tree flew a grouse. I crept around closer and I took the shot with a broadhead. She flew off and now is dying in the woods somewhere, and I need to find her.
I'm pretty physically tough and I don't give up easily, but I'm working really hard. I'm very active every single day.
Just don't know how far a grouse can go wounded. I know a bear can run 30 yards after it's been shot in the heart. There she is. So grateful. I've been coming to this whole experience from such a good place, from a place of just really wanting to live in deep connection with the land. So I've been so conscious and so prayerful and so communicative, but I've been starving.
Great girl, eat it.
So it is so gratifying now to feel the reward.
Like how much fat is on a grouse? I don't know, but the longer I watched the show, the more I would like score the animals based on how much fat came in. I mean, a porcupine sounds like a ridiculous thing to want them to catch until you saw how much fat was on the damn porcupine. Like, I don't know how that tastes, but fry everything in that and you're going to survive a little longer. Even some damn leaves in the fried fat of a porcupine. Good luck. But a grouse, at least, I mean, there's a liver in there, right? Chicken liver, and yeah, eat the organs quick. Eat them raw. You don't have to cook those. Get it in you. God, you just like, when I hear a patient complain that they can't fast, they can't make it to the next day, I'm like, you go watch that show. Look at that woman. Look at how long it's been since she's eaten. And she like breaks down in tears that she's not grateful enough for the animal. I'm like, forget being grateful. Eat it. Like food. That's what primal hunger looks like.
So I'm just gonna hang out in here. Look at that. And here are heart. This is all chunks of breast meat. This is liver, the leg. Hooray! May this motivate me.
Don't eat it too fast or you'll have diarrhea. You're malnourished, so small little bites. Same thing when people fast for the first time and they take a bite and whoop, there they go to the toilet. She cannot afford to poop any of that out.
To hunt better so I can eat like this every day. This was the tipping point. Now that I am fully fortified with delicious meat in my belly, I want to be out exploring that new area with my bow, and time is a-wasting.
I mean, you look at that meat laying there and you can just feel how much joy she is getting from food. Like, we have abused that so much in our world that when you fast and then you get that meal after you've felt hunger, okay, it's nothing like what she's going through, but same. Oof.
Okay, let's go and collect some rabbits. Lifting pole still intact. I mean, one rabbit a week is not enough.
Let's just comment on that thing where consuming less than 1,000 calories a day can lead to gallstones and heart problems. I mean, the gallstones are, you have bile sitting in your gallbladder, and when it doesn't have any purpose, when it doesn't have any, you're not pulling in any fat. I mean, bile is to surround fat so you can absorb it, right? So the gallbladder will store it, deliver it to the intestines, and then you can absorb the fat. She's not eating at all. So that bile is just sitting there, which is where the gallstones come from. In most of our patients, it's that the insulin is so high in their body that whatever fat they are absorbing, they need very little bile to absorb it. They are eating so much processed food that the excess insulin is a different form of starvation. I mean, it's a different form of, you're just taking that fat and storing it, and you're making a bunch of fat from those processed carbs. You don't need your gallbladder to do much. It hasn't been on a high fat diet in the setting of low insulin for decades in some of my patients. And that's how they get gallstones.
I mean, I'm happy with my life and my choices in a lot of ways, but a lot of my assets in being here and the things that are working for me are also some of my greatest sorrows in life. Not having someone that I miss so much, not having a family depending on me. Winning this would somehow make it seem like worthwhile. I've never, ever was a person who questioned whether I wanted a family. I always knew that I did. If I was to win and get more money than I've ever had or dreamed of having in my life, it would just open up so many things in my life. Could I afford to adopt a child, or could I have a baby on my own for the first time in my life to feel like I had enough money to welcome some abundance in that way? That would be amazing.
When we are working with patients who are struggling, we ask them, what's your why? And to want for things doesn't carry them very far. You can hear that what she wants those things for is so she can have the relationships. And boy, my advice would be, forget the things, just develop the relationships. Don't worry how the next step's going to be figured out. I mean, that's very heavy to hear her say, what I want is this richer life. And if I have these things, then maybe I can get that. And I didn't see that coming in her. Like, yes, I knew she was alone and didn't have kids, but wow, that framework that's a little backwards in my world.
I hadn't really lost significant weight since the last one.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, because I haven't had very much to eat.
Okay, this is exactly. Did you hear that? They have weight checks every 10 days or something, and she has hardly lost any in the last 10 days. I'm telling you, I work with women who have this, and you were like, I know, life is so unfair. This is it right here.
Definitely been a lot more discouraged and having a harder time recently since the fox and the poor trapping. I know that I just can only starve for so long. This whole fox situation is definitely getting to me, so I'm kind of in trouble. Oh, whoa. I got a squirrel. The challenges of my snaring mean that I'm constantly having to rethink, re-strategize all the time. That gives me renewed hope about my trapping.
Look at Sam at 45 days. Look at Woniya at 45 days. And, blame it on the superior race that women are going to protect their bodies by holding on to fat. But boy, when you are in the business of trying to help people get to an ideal body weight because the fat is causing all kinds of health issues, it is obvious this is not fair. women are built different. And when they are in a survival mode of hold on to fat or you're going to die, 45 days in, look at the difference between those two systems. 42-year-old woman in childbearing age. Ancestrally, she needs to protect that advantage of being able to have children. So what did her body do when they shut down calories to a super low level and there's no fat coming in? Well, it is going to be hold on to the fat, hold on to that ability to still be able to procreate in the event that food comes back. We are 45 days in. The difference between man and woman is very stark. She is holding on to fat. He is not. We don't call it hallucinating. We call it an escape mechanism. Look at her. Oh, I love her.
It's a lot harder to keep count without a partner and without music. Oh,
I love that.
Thank you, son, for being my partner in my solo waltz. Today, I have basically like a ball of yarn, a ball of rabbit yarn, essentially. And that ball is probably the size of a basketball. I think I could make a rabbit scarf now. Check it out. My squirrel skin covered knife sheath. Harvest basket. Boom. Ready to go.
No way. I guess she's not bored.
Super excited to work on this rabbit rope. One of the biggest things is that I'm here representing women and representing a different approach to survival, one that includes femininity. Spent my 20s really denying my own femininity to show that I was tough and capable. And finally in my 40s, super being in my femininity and myself as a woman and feeling empowered in that and I don't have anything to prove. Women have the fortitude to survive very trying times, and I'd like to show that to the world.
It really is true that the woman should be able to preserve the fat better, right? Where the disadvantage is women are going to have less mitochondria in the long run. And, you just watch season after season after season that a man lasts longer, but a woman holds on to the fat better. Again, not fair.
Pretty exciting, huh? Check it out. Beautiful woven rabbit scarf. And may it get longer and longer and become a rabbit shawl and then a rabbit blanket. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You look at the craftiness of it and then you compare it to Sam. Sam's, lonesomeness, when he could find a purpose and was using that to build his traps, okay, then he was okay. But as soon as that mind goes idle, she's doing a good job of finding purpose in her crafty, discoveries. How girl of her. I love it. So just look at how lean that body is. That's after 73 days without access to food before her body, you look at magazines today saying, okay, her body mass index is now in the ideal spot. Dang, did she hold on to that fat for so long? And again, praise God, the way her body's built, that she was able to get pregnant afterwards, something that clearly motivated her through those valleys when she was super lonely, saying, what is my life about? And for the record, she didn't win the abundant amount. She just said, let me do what I'm called to do, which is be a mom. Congratulations. If you've never watched Alone, I highly encourage it. If you're working on your metabolism, it is a great measuring stick for how hungry are you? Will you eat a mouse? Yeah, the difference between this show and reality is you are not meant to do this alone. We are meant to be in community as you struggle and improve a behavior, like which foods to eat. Clearly, Woniya had insulin resistance. If you don't want to starve yourself for 78 days, then you might want to learn which foods are best for insulin resistance. I rank 17 of them based on metabolism. Check out that video.